Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for joining. Please, as you join, just tell us your name and what you do while we try to get other people to join the live. We'll be starting pretty soon. Time is fast spent. So, as you join, just tell us your name and what you do. If you're a student, you can state that. If you a business person, an entrepreneur, if you're a writer, whatever your career is, you can just state it. Okay, can you hear anything now? Oladayo, you said you cannot hear anything. How about now? Can you hear me now? So just state your name, let us know what you do, where you're joining from. You don't have to state where you're joining from exactly, but what you do. We will have an idea of those that we have in the room. Okay, we'll be starting soon. We are just trying to get everybody to be aware. And if you're here, you can share it to your platform, share the link, let people know that we are live. We've started. Oh, you're joining from Oshinle. If you're welcome, please share. Tell everybody that we are live. We are talking about the career. We're talking about career skills and the multiple income mindsets in this episode of Adroit Lounge. So, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I think we're just gonna start, and those that are going to join subsequently can just catch the replay, or better still, they'll just join us while I give the introductory. I'm going to give the introductory notes. So, firstly, my name is Blessed, and I'm the founder of Adroit Community. Adroit became a community not quite long, and we started this whole launch thing, which is something we'll be doing monthly and be doing for a very long time now. We'll be doing it for a while. We're doing it for It's something that's come to stay majorly. And it's just to the end that we have conversations that matter around career. So the whole point of Adroit community, building our career, making sure you're thriving in your career, making sure you're actually doing well. So, and that's the purpose of this lounge. We'll be inviting people that we see that they are doing well in what they do in, and it is commendable. So we'll just basically bring them on the platform, ask them questions, and also get them to participate, get them to inspire us majorly. So that's what Adroit Lounge is about. And today we are having an amazing person. He's on the call and will be turning on his camera very soon. So his name is Promise Adebayo. And today we released his bio so that you can have the background story of who will I really be speaking to? So Promise is someone I've worked with over time. I've seen him from afar, I've seen him from near. So I've worked with him over time and I still work with him. We've worked on different projects and different things. And looking at the topic of today's this episode of this lounge. So, firstly, you would have to forgive the fact that I'm going to say lounge at times, but the correct pronunciation is actually lounge. So, we will get used to that. So, like I was saying, Promise is someone that I've known for a while now. We knew each other as kids, maybe not kids, teenagers, then somehow everybody from the bio we read today, you would know that he wasn't in Nigeria and everybody just lost contact. But over time, we connected again and is doing very amazing stuff. So when I knew that this was going to be the okay, I can see that more people joining the live. Please just introduce yourself. Thank you. So when I knew that this was going to be the topic, and for subsequent episodes, we are going to deliberate on the topic in the community. So if you're not part of the community and you're just joining the live, please join the community to join the group chat so you can engage in conversations. So like I was saying, we lost contact, we reconnected, and it's been really amazing. So I just told him that one of these days, Promise, I will invite you to come and speak. Oh, and he said, okay, no problem. So, secondly, I want to apologize for the lateness. So, like I said, we are talking about having career, your mindset, the multiple income mindset. So Promise is a very busy person. So he was just on a couple of things. So that's why we had to shift it a bit further. But then thank you very much for coming. So very quickly, Promise is a talent development strategist, is a founder, is a speaker, he works in human resource technology. Promise was the first person that told me that he was building an artificial intelligence for himself, for his work, so that he can make his work easy. Someone that knows how to use his AI so much. And I'm like, oh, so you can do this with AI too. Oh, you do this with AI too. So is the founder of BrightBridge Talent, and what his company majorly does is to connect skilled talent with early career professionals with startups that needs this talent. And this company has gone ahead to win grants. That's even another thing that inspires me about Promise. So he has built a company that has won grant and he's doing amazingly well. His company had gone ahead to do different collaborations. So we can just go ahead, search for BrightBridge Talent online and see the amazing work that they are doing. So he comes from Benin Republic, educated in French. He returned to Nigeria. He had to start navigating all of the uncertainties, he had to start finding his ground, he had to start finding opportunities. Then he also underwent career transitions, and today he's now building the kind of support system that he wish he had that time. Because I mean, it's bad enough that we Nigerians we are trying to find our footings, not to now talk of somebody that came from outside the country, does not speak English as much, now trying to find his ground and all of that. So he speaks mentorship, community building. He shares practical insights on career growth, remote work. He talks about purpose. He's a Christian. He talks about creating opportunities. If you know Promise, if you have somebody like Promise in your circle, trust me, you cannot be myopic in the way you see things. You'd have conversations with Promise and you just start thinking big. You will start. So Promise is that kind of person that when you have a conversation with him, you want to get better. You want to do things. You want to get better in what you do. So we welcome Promise to our midst as he will be taking us on career, skills, and the multiple income mindsets. Welcome, Promise.
Thank you so much, Blessed, for that introduction. Yes, I was thinking back when you mentioned we got to know ourselves as teenager, which was true. I just remembered those days where we be chatting on I think it was Facebook where we were chatting on Facebook. Yeah, all those days. Yeah.
It was on Facebook, yes. It was on Facebook.
Yes, yeah, I just remember that, and yeah, it has been a blessing knowing you, and it has been a fantastic journey. Back then, if I've looked at what has been now, and think that maybe like we'll be where we are today. I must say no. How would that be? But yeah, where we are today. So once again, my name is Promise, and I'm a HR associate, human resources associate. I have the honor to be addressing you on career skills and the multiple income mindset. So, first of all, I would like to thank Blessed for inviting me to this platform to speak. Blessed and I are very good friends. We go way back, and just as she has said, we share many beautiful memories. Talking about business, talking about this and that, and it has been a joy. Uh, yeah, it has been a joy speaking with her. So the same way I influence her is the same way she influenced me too. Like, let's say the type of person that will challenge you, to also try things out. Yeah, but this evening I'll be going over very quickly. I'll be going over career skills and the multiple income. And in some kind of a way, I feel I can share based on my personal story some things that might inspire you, right? And also, why I'm sharing, can you speak one or two things? Who knows? It might help you. It might apply to your current situation, and it might help you a lot. So, I have a quote here from Robert Greene that said the future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in a creative way. So we're going to be talking about career skills and the mindset you need to have uh, when thinking about multiple income. So a lot of people get this wrong. And the first foot thing to all of this thing is skill. So we're going to touch on that, but let me quickly rush. Okay, yeah. So let me quickly rush. No, the pressure is real, so is the confusion. Now we live in a world where uh, you get pressurized in every direction, right? You see people doing well, you see people doing this. It might be true, it might not be. Social media is there. You see people coming out saying they are this, they are that, right? And people tells you learn a skill, try to make money online, or build multiple streams of income, become successful early. But the dilemma is that they don't tell you how to go about it, right? And some people I've seen in life and noticed some people are not lazy. They don't just know how to go about, you know, um, building this life, this dream life, right? And so for tonight, I'm just going to lay it down plainly, like what you can do, like as simple as possible, what you can do. So let's get right into it. My story, right? I believe this section will not be complete if I don't share this my story. So um, I divided into five stages or period, right? So, like Blessed said, I grew up. So I was not born in Benin Republic. I'm in Nigeria. I grew up in Benin Republic, studying French. Like you study in English here. You study all these subjects. So that's what I did in French. I'm more fluent in French than speaking English. In fact, I had it rough speaking English because I'm not used to it. Where I came from, everything I do was in French. You debate, you talk to friends. Even with family, we don't speak English. We only speak other languages, maybe Yoruba, but not English specifically, right? So um, I graduated in 2020, and the first thing that hit me was, okay, now I'm done with school. What next, right? I remember vividly back then. I drafted my CV when I print like a bunch, so I had a lot of copies, and I remember going around to institutions, to organizations, submitting my CV, telling them this, telling them that, that I would like to work with them. I think I did it for a whole couple of times, just walking around, because there was no sense of direction. I did not know what next to do, right? And I remember back then, I would be home doing nothing, sometimes sleeping the whole day, sometimes just playing around with my laptop. So there was this lack of purpose, right? I'm done with school, so what next? What should I be doing? What will I do, right? And this is going to sound strange to somehow. During that period, I worked as a bricklayer, I worked as a plumber, I worked as a assisted, this in this carpentry work, just go with them, just work with those guys, learn a bit about what they do, and make some money to sustain myself. I remember very well. It was not easy. Imagine me carrying bag of cement, carry sand. Just picture it, right? After graduating, that's 220. Just picture it. So it was that period when I really don't know what to do. Like, I was like, what am I going to do? So I was just in the midst. So I remembered my dad called. I was like, Promise, you cannot stay here. You cannot be here. You have to explore. You have to find your path elsewhere. Why not go back to Nigeria? Why not do this? Why not do that? So I remember we agreed on that, and I came back to Nigeria. Now Nigeria is a different chapter because when I got here, the first thing I started doing was teaching. I started teaching job, right? Um, I'm well versed in French and I can also teach it, right? So it becomes sort of something I can leverage on, why I was here. Now, tell me why the first teaching gig I got was not even French I was teaching. I ended up teaching basic science, basic tech, economics. And mind you, I might have an idea of like what it means, how it goes, but this is a different whole new language, and I have to teach in that language, right? I remember going through notes, going online, searching for notes about this subject, reading, studying them, so that I could be able to teach them well the next day. And it was not easy. right? I told you I was not, see, the way I'm speaking English now is not what it was back then. Students were mocking me, right? I remember vividly back then, students were mocking me because I would do all these mistakes, pronounce some words wrongly. Sometimes there are some little switches in the tongue that I end up pronouncing the word in French instead of pronouncing in English. So I had that period. But then I was not discouraged, right? I kept at it, you know, thought part time. I think I thought about 5, 6 school. That's the period of 2022, 2023. Yeah, 2022, 2022. So I was doing part time. And I remember back then I was able to make 60,000 to 70,000 working as a part time teacher. And it was a nice, cool thing because that was the first time I'm making money. I can boss around, afford small thing on my own, do some kind of thing. So the feeling was good. I'm not gonna lie, but there is something I did, and I wish every other person also do this. And it was thinking about the future, right? I was not satisfied being a teacher. So back then, I knew that this is what I can do as of now, right? This is the opportunity, this is what I can leverage on as of now. But I was thinking ahead, right? I was thinking about what I'm going to do, the career I'm going to go in, and everything. So I graduated majoring in human resources management, right, already. So when I came to Nigeria, I just wanted to continue in that line, human resources management. So I did something very simple. In the day when I go to school, I teach, I do everything. I think by 3 I'm back. The next thing I do is take courses, refresher courses in English about human resources management, right? I took it for about 8 to 9 months. I did that regularly, apart from other things I was learning, while still teaching, right? I knew that I won't be teaching forever. So as of I think December 2023, I just have this feeling with me that it's time to leave, the teaching, these teaching things I was doing. So it was time to leave that. Although I did not know what will happen, what kind of direction I was going to go in, but I just had that feeling that it's time to quit this. So I remember back then, an opportunity came for me, and the person just asked me, "What do you think about being a human resources assistant?" um, in my company, right? The company is in the US to be precise. And what I did was share with this person my progress, what I've been doing, courses I've been taking, all these things I've been doing, everything, and just suggested it. And that was the breakthrough for me, right? That was the breakthrough for me. I think I've skipped the rebuilding, then the uncertainty. Maybe I'll talk a bit about it, but I'm kind of rushing this. So, 14th of March, I can never forget, 14th of March 2024, that's when I started working. I retired as a teacher. I started working as a human resources professional assistant, so till date. And one thing or some lessons I learned, while looking back is that first thing I was thinking about the future. See, if you don't think about the future, you can't start preparing. You know that saying that youth are leaders of tomorrow. Yeah, youth are leaders of tomorrow, but you need to start preparing today for that tomorrow. So preparation is very important into whatever thing you do, and we're going to come to that. The skills, the career, and everything. So, why saying that? Let me rush to career, right? Understanding career beyond a job. Many people see career as a boring of his life. So when you talk about career, you just think about, well, something we have to do. We just have to do something, or we have to work for a salary, something like that. But I want you to rethink it for a moment, right? And see career more than that, and picture it as you consistently solving problem and creating value. See, if you see that in that light, um, there is this new approach that you're going to have to it. And for me, that's how I saw it, to be honest, right? When the opportunity came, I just saw it as a way to create value, to solve problem, which I did. I remember I was just putting system in place. I came up with a lot of things at work, and I had a I had a boss that gave me liberty, right? So whenever I thought of an idea, thought of a way of solving any kind of problem, it was just okay with it and just gave me the go ahead. So a career is not just employment, no. A career is your ability to consistently solve problem and create value, right? And like Confucius said, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. So you might say, okay, job, work, right? When it comes to something you love, it does not come across to you as a job. It come across to you as you're doing something you really like, and that's why when it comes to choosing um, a career, you can't rush it. Um, you can't look at others and say, uh, excuse me. So you can't look at others and say that, oh, because they're doing this, they're doing that, you want to do it. No, you can't do that, right? Because there's a lot more to it uh, than just picking anything. Because you will do it for a long time. See, a career, you will do it for all your life, right? And your career is not just what you do, it's what people trust you for, right? It's something you build over time. And careers are built through consistency, relationship and trust, growth and learning, and then showing up every day. That's how you build a career. I have a career in human resources. For the last 2.5 years, I've been showing up. You know, I've been participating in events that has to do with human resources management. I've been building relationship in that sector. I have HR colleagues. I've been building also a certain kind of level of trust because there are things I can do on my own. I've been learning. I'm planning on taking certifications, exam, all those things. So it is something you build over time. Like I believe your career stretches to probably all the days of your life. Something you will be known for. And yeah, so let me stop there. Let me quickly rush. I'm rushing this. Now, number two, skills. Remember, we're talking about career skills and the multiple income mindset. Now, skills is the current currency of today's world, right? If you don't have skills, in today's world, there's nothing you can do, right? Jim Rohn said, "Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune," right? And that is why it's important that you keep learning. The notion of continuous learning is something that cannot be overemphasized because you're not taught everything you need to know in school. So I will go as far as say that self-education is even more important than the formal education you get at school, right? We hear learn a skill every day, but many still don't not understand what a skill actually is. Now, a skill is valuable because it solves a problem. Business people pay, business pay people who solve problem. People pay people who make life easier, right? So, I want to look at a skill as you solving the problem. A lot of people have bastardized this, right? Whatever you're doing or whatever you consider a skill, it is not solving a problem, it's not a skill. So, whatever you're doing and you consider it a skill that you have, maybe something you have, and that thing is not solving a problem, no, that thing is not making other people's life easier, it is not a skill. Now, I'm going to go over, three categories of skill, and this is according to me. Um, so according to what my opinion, so that's how I categorize this. So we have survival skills, we have career skills, we have human skills. So survival skills are skills that can help someone start earning quickly, right? Let's assume you want to let's assume you want to earn money, um, want to start earning quickly. There are some skills that you can easily and quickly learn. Put yourself out there and then start earning money. So we have virtual assistant, graphic design, customer support, video editing, social media management, the writing. So writing skill, ghostwriting, copywriting, content writing, all of those things. So I call them survival skill, right? Because these are skills you can easily pick up and learn. See, it does not take you anything. Just go to the internet, go to maybe a learning management system, Coursera, Allison. You will get those courses there, study it diligently, and you're going to learn it in the space of 3 to 6 months, right? In the space of 3 to 6 months. Now we have career skills. Those are skills that build long-term professional value. Um, Focus on that word professional value. So, human resources, um, and for the record, this is not limited to this, right? I'm just picking this as an example. Human resources, data analysis, project management, software development, accounting, digital marketing. These are skills that um, build long-term professional value. You have to take certifications, right? It's not enough for you to just go online, learn it. You have to be certified in some of these things. You have exam you need to take, and it's something you build long term. It's not something you can just do. It's not something you do 3 to 6 months. So sometimes it takes you the whole year, it takes you 5, 6 years, 7, 10 years. So and that's why when you come across some of these job adverts, you see 5 years of experience, 2, 3 years of experience, 10 years of experience in some roles. So that shows us that these are skill you build long term. It's not something anybody can just come and claim and start doing. Now we have human skill, and these are the most underrated. But for me, if you're able to learn this human skill right here, uh, your life will get easier, and I will explain, right? We have communication, discipline, emotional intelligence, reliability, leadership, teamwork. These are skills, we call it soft skills, that are missing. Now communication, right? I told you I struggled with English, right? When I came to Nigeria, I had to. Uh, I remember I just had to speak it so that I made mistake. Sometimes I still make the mistake, correct myself, and learn. Always learn. Why do you think that? You see, the act of um, communicating, the act of being able uh, to communicate maybe a process, right? Maybe your work process, I'm talking in terms of work, or communicate an idea that people will understand is very key. And communication is not complete unless the other party fully understand what you're trying to point out. So um, these are skills that gets you rolling. Now, for example, if you want to be a creator, this is very important communication, right? You even have the art of storytelling, engaging your audience in such a way that they are glued and they are willing to listen to what you're saying. So, these are underrated skills that are much needed right now. And these are skills you can also be learning. See, these skills are learned. Discipline, emotional intelligence. You can read book on them. You have a lot of things. So these are the three set of skills um, that I believe we have there. Now, the truth about the multiple income stream. I'm rushing this, right? So there's two approach, and there's the wrong approach. There's the right approach, and I'm going to explain it. Um, the wrong approach is chasing many stream immediately. Like you want to get so it's always related to this get rich quick scheme, right? You want to get rich, you want to start earning money, you want to become valuable, right? And the goal is not multiple income at first. I shared my story and everything. You know that the first thing I did was not going to be an human resources assistant at first, right? What I did was make use of the opportunity I had, that was teaching, and I had a stream of income back then, right? And the goal was not teaching, but I started with teaching. And a lot of people a lot of young people make the mistake of thinking that if you want to earn multiple streams, you have to do a lot of things at the same time, and that is the wrong approach. So the right approach is to maintaining sustainable multiple income is just starting from a single valuable skill that you can use a different way. And I'm going to explain using writing, right? So a writing skill can become copywriting, can become blogging, can become script writing, ghost writing, writing LinkedIn content, and also email marketing. Notice how everything is only tied to writing, the writing skill, right? And all what you need to do is become very valuable, right, at writing, right? The same way for other professions, become so much valuable in a skill, that from it you cannot generate multiple income. So multiple income stream does not necessarily mean doing multiple things that are separate or that are different. And I'm going to expatiate more on this, right? I use an illustration of a tree. That a tree grows one branch at a time, and most successful people do not build everything at once. Um, yeah, so skill stability and multiple streams. So I'm going to explain it here. One salary can become a single point of failure. So when you are so one stream of income, right, is not enough. So system prepare us for job, not for building ownership, multiple opportunities. So it's time to think beyond just getting employed and start building values in layers, right? So I'm going to show you the three layers where you can build value and also monetize the value you're creating. The first layer is your craft, so the skill, your primary skill. So this is your primary skill, maybe your profession or an area of competence, something you can do very well. Please take note of that, something you can do extremely well. So become genuinely good at something first. It can be tech, it can be design, it can be writing, it can be marketing, right? So the first foundation to anything you want to do is becoming good at a particular skill. Let people know you for being good at a particular thing. It's very, very important. Now, the second layer is your expertise as a service. Now, begin to use that skill independently through freelancing, consulting, coaching, offering services. Now, you move from being good at that particular thing, right, and using it independently. See, there's a lot of way you can use your expertise in the particular area, a lot of way, right? And then you move from having knowledge to actively creating values from others. So you move from you being good at that thing, very good at that thing, to creating value for others. Notice value for others. Because if you don't create value for others, you can't earn. Money is tied to the value you give. And the third layer is your knowledge as a product. Now you can now combine your experience, through scalable content, courses, community, books, or digital products, right? At this stage, your knowledge is no longer limited by the hours you physically work. You know, that's where you start making money while sleeping. So it's at this stage. Now, notice how it goes. The first layer, you need to learn the skill, and you need to have a skill and be very good at it. The second layer, you need proof. So I will get there. You need proof, or you need to use the skill you have, to benefit others, so to create value for others. So you are creating proof of work, right? People know you for, okay, this guy can do this and he has done this, right? And then the third layer, now using the second layer, working for people, creating value for people, from that experience. Notice how it has to do with experience. You now create something scalable, something that can run itself without you being there. So these are the three layers. I wanted to point it out. These are the three layers, and you need to start from number one, get to number two, then number three. See, I see people skip number one and number two straight to the third one, right? You don't know anything about the particular subject, right? Or the particular skill. You're still trying to find your way, and already you're charging for that skill. You're saying that, okay, bring this amount, whereby you're still experimenting. I see people still trying to learn, come out and do content, which is not bad if you know what you're doing and if you know what you're saying. But you can sense from what they're saying that the expertise is not there. They've not experienced what they're saying. They're trying to write book. They're trying to do this. So they're skipping these two layers, and these two layers are important. I've been working as human resources assistant for like the past 1 year. I got promoted to associates. Very soon I'm going to get promoted. And there are things I learned from being an assistant, things I learned from being an associate, right? Now imagine me. So imagine me now, right? For me, I still consider myself being in the first and second layer. And yeah, that's how I still consider myself. So imagine me now. I go ahead and write something about HR, a book, at my current level, right? And you see people out there with 20 years of experience in HR, you know, writing that book. And me with 2 years of experience, and I come out and say, no, I'm very good at this. What do you think would happen? I will appear as a fool to people that really know that craft. right? Why? Because I've not built on that skill enough, and I've not gained enough experience to actually move to the third layer where I can make use of my experience. Because of time, I'm going to rush to number five. So I have a simple roadmap every young person can follow. Very simple. Number one, learn. So pick a skill, study it seriously. So when I mean study it beyond, how will I put it? So there is study, there is learning. There's just learning, like, so learning, you learn, just learn what the thing about, you know, stuff. But study, you go more deeper, right, to a lot of aspect of it and try to understand what the skill is actually about, processes, end results, frameworks, a lot of things. That's regarding to a skill, right? Then the number two things you do is practice. Do free projects. Do what? Do free projects. I remember volunteering for a non-profit organization, right? Just to gain experience. Peace 360 initiative. I was a volunteer for them as a human resources specialist for, yeah, I think for about a year, right? I posted jobs. I screened CVs. I did a lot of things when I was there, and that experience really helped me, right? Do what? Do free projects. You can volunteer. You can do internship. And you know what? Mastery is in repetition, right? We can only improve through repetition. You can only improve um, through the number of times you do that particular thing. So it's very important that what you practice it. So one of the ways you can do that is to do free projects. So I remember back then, also, I got to an organization. I was doing very bad, right? I was doing very bad with them. Like, I was not meeting uh, the level they wanted, and things were very tough. I remember back then. So, and they were paying me. So what I did is I told them that I want to intern for them, and what they did was they reduced the money very ridiculously to one small amount, right? But I still intern with them. Why? Knowledge, experience, right? I was very bad at those things, but I got good at them there. I did not mind cutting the money to gain real experience, to know how it works. So practice is very important to whatever you do, right? You can volunteer. So number two, volunteer or intern, right? Experience matter, exposures matter. You would think you know how to go about it until you get in the situation where you'll be asked to produce results. That is when you know that, oh, this thing, I don't really actually know it, right? Or when you see a professional, an expert doing it, and you say, oh, no, no, this thing I've not got it. So experience matter, exposure matters. Very, very important, right? Experience is often the bridge between knowledge and opportunity. So that's very important. Then number four, build proof. See, proof is very important. Create evidence of your skill, portfolio, result, testimonial project. So this varies, I think, depending on the skill. So for video editor, I believe you need a portfolio. Graphic designer, you need a portfolio. So for what I'm doing, my resources, I need a CV, right? I just need maybe my LinkedIn, my history, what I've been doing, and all those things. Then testimonial projects you've done, build proof, right? Build it. It's very important. And then the last number five is monetization. Now start charging, apply for job, freelance, offer services. So this is a framework every person can use, like five level framework every person can use, right? Now, if I was to give like an estimation about the duration, this number one, it can take 3 to 6 months, depending on the skill you're picking, right? Number two, practice, improve yourself. This can take another 3 months. 3 months. Then volunteer on interning, I recommend a year, right? A year. Then, so during that 1 year, you're building your proof, you're engaging yourself in projects. See, volunteer, participate in projects, you benefit a lot from it. Then, number five, right, you start charging money. So, you can apply for jobs, you have proof that you've done what you said you've done with some organizations, through projects and all of this. That was the thing that helped me, to be honest. I remember after my volunteering and also, so I participated in some project as well. I got, yeah, I think 3 jobs, right? They were paying me good amount of money. And it was as a result of the experience I've gathered. That was it. Imagine seeing on my CV that I work for a non-profit that is based in the US. You see my CV that I've worked for a company in the US, things like that. I've participated in projects, that has to do with organization in the US. They're going to interview me, you're going to pick me, and we're going to discuss, right? So it's very, very important that you volunteer and then you build proof of work. So I'm rounding up with the mindset you need to adopt today. So the world is changing fast. Degree alone are no longer enough. In fact, they are not that relevant, right? Um, Organization nowadays don't really care about your degree. They care about what you can do. So they don't care about the the degrees, the papers. No, they care about the skills, what you have to offer. And what you need is adaptability, discipline, resilience, curiosity, patience, willingness to learn continuously. So um, these are going to help you in your journey, in your journey, learning, in your journey, in your career journey. And remember that in time of change, learners inherit here. So I think that was Eric Offer that said that growth take time. I know that social media often makes success looks instant, but the truth that in real life, is slower. There are processes, in fact, there are principles to it, right? And then you don't need to compare your beginning to someone else's destination. No. So you can't compare what you're doing with someone else. You don't know what they've done. So imagine you comparing yourself to me. Like I said, I've done bricklaying, plumbing, all sort of jobs. I've taught, I've sell data, all this data business. I've done it. I've done a lot of things. I've sold snacks, a lot of things, and I'm where I am today. Then imagine you comparing yourself with me. So how does it look? Right? Without knowing, so people will not show their real self. It's rare. It's rare for people to come outside and show you who they are. So comparison, as they say, is the thief of all joy. So don't compare yourself to somebody else. It's not necessary. So and then you don't need to have everything figured out immediately, right? Most careers are built through consistency, relationship curiosity, opportunity taken seriously. So it's a long, how will I put it? It's a long journey, right? You're going to be there. So take your time, build properly, learn that skill properly. Then my closing notes as I'm rounding up, right? Some of you may feel behind, some may feel uncertain, and some may not even know where to start, right? But the future is not decided by where you are today. No, right? It is shaped by it is shaped by what you choose to learn and who you choose to become, and how consistently you do what to keep moving forward. So that is what decides. So the decision you make is what decides who you will become, right? And what you can do is start small. You don't need to have everything figured out. Start with what you have. Look around. What opportunities are available that you can make use of, you can leverage, start leveraging it, because I can assure you that other opportunity will come as a result. So you might just get wind of an opportunity doing what you can do right in the process. So then also stay teachable, remain open to learning and growth, which is very important. Build value. So focus on becoming valuable. Focus on becoming somebody that you know is hard to disregard. You um, then your opportunity, right? Your opportunity can grow from there. So you have a good chance of making it when you are valuable. Trust me. You have a very very good and high chance of making it when you become valuable. And with that, I round up this session. So I hope we've been able to pick one of few things. Yeah, I hope we enjoy the sessions, and I'm going to hand over to Blessed.
Thank you
Are
very much,
are
Promise.
you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you.
So, thank you very much for the presentation. It was quite interesting, and most times I've noticed that in events I've learned from the most is usually their story. When they come tell us their own story, that's when I learned from, and I'm happy that you were able to break down your story and all. And you spoke about one thing that I really loved that you spoke about is how that you can have multiple when people hear multiple streams of income, they automatically think that, oh, you have to be an hairdresser here, then maybe a tailor. Then as you're doing hairdressing and tailor, you now have one online business that you're doing again, maybe crypto. Then
Yeah.
those are multiple streams of income. So as much as those are multiple streams of income, you can have the same skill, yet still have multiple streams of income from one skill. You don't have to be doing different things. It's even more disorganized that way. But I want you to, time is fast spent, and we'll run this off soon. There will even be no need for question because a lot of people dropped off. But one thing I would like you to address is the issue of um, having multiple streams of income from different skills. Because for you particularly, I know that you work in real estate, which is a bit different from working in HR. I know even from HR alone, you already have multiple streams of income working as an HR professional, but then there's still real estate there that you do. I know you're a realtor, and you're making cool money from that one too. So what can you say as regards this? How do you manage streams of income, multiple from two different skills from two different niche?
Okay. Thank you for that. That's a very good question. I'll start by this. A lot of people have, I would say, some kind of misconception when they see me do this thing as if. So let me put it to you this way. Uh, when it comes to real estate, right? When it comes to real estate, when it comes to forex trading, because I'm a trader to forex
Yeah, there's
trading.
forex trading too.
Yes, when it comes to forest trading. So when it comes to all of those things, it is an interest I developed, right? So real estate, for example, I developed an interest in investing, that investment. So I wanted to invest, that's why I went to real estate. But if you look at the core is still the current thing I'm doing, HR. Because that is where I made the money from to even start thinking about investments. So if you ask me, how did I get into real estate? I would say it's HR that brought me to real estate. That's personally for me. I would say that, yeah, it's my current, like, do you get what I'm saying? It's by focusing on my current career that I'm doing, getting money. So that's what I'm saying, getting money from that skill, that particular skill, that got me to like, so what's happening in the world of investment? What can I do? All those things, and boom, real estate. Do you get? So yeah, I'm a real. Well, I consider myself as a part-time realtor, not a full-time realtor. But as I would say, the core is still important, right? the the cause is still important. So you won't see me. So if you ask me, promise, or who are you, to introduce myself, I will never introduce myself as a realtor. I'll never introduce myself as a forest trader, right? In fact, I won't introduce myself as a founder or anything. You ask me, I'm a HR professional. I'm a human resources associate with this company. That's my identity, right? First, and you need to establish that before you cannot pursue other interests. See, the core is very, very important. Now, let me tell you the disadvantages you have when you don't establish that first. Now, what can happen is that you might jump for brain a human resources professional to say, okay, you're pursuing something in the real estate, like investment, like real estate, for example, and you leave all what you're doing and focus on that, right? And then for a short while again, maybe you have an interest in another thing, then you jump on that thing again. So when it comes to multiple stream of income, you need, like I said, the primary skill, like something, like I said, something people know you for first, right? And then you can now start exploring maybe other interests. So I call them interests. Like, I'm interested in this. I just want to find out a little bit. I'm curious about this, and then some opportunities might come from you as a result of you being curious, as a result of your interest, which you might take advantage of. But never forget like that primary how would I call it, skill. So yeah, to one side.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that answer, really, because some people do the mistake of saying they are this, they are that, they are that. So I mean, it's best to say, okay, this is what I am.
I
If
am
they ask you,
doing,
who
yeah.
are you and what do you do, this is what I mean. When we started this call, I say, okay, let's introduce ourselves and what you do. I said, I'm building a career in public health. Trust me, I'm building a career in public health. I have other things that I'm doing. I have
You're
other
doing,
streams that will just bring income for me. During the I manage people's social media, optimize people's social media, write CV for people. I do quite a number of things, multiple streams of income. But I won't come to you and say, oh, I'm doing, you won't ask me to introduce myself and I will say, this is what I do. No. So when it comes to multiple streams of income, you need to have that primary focus when it comes to your career or the skill that you focus on. Then from it, you can now develop other interests, go into other things, but you need to be well grounded in one. Thank you very much, Promise, for coming on board.
you're
Personally, I learned a
welcome.
lot. I feel like this whole thing came from a me problem. Then from research, I felt like, oh, other people have this problem. So there's someone that is probably on this call. She has a lot of things that she is doing. I've never seen somebody with so much streams of income before, and it's it's so amazing because there are some things you will see and you'll be like, this can never be me because how are you doing all of this? You have this business, you have this skill, you how do I want to do it? It can't be me. So I mean, there are people like that, and at some point you just be like, everything will just look so blurry, so scattered. Before you know, people can't say this is who you are again. So it's very important to do that. And once again, I want to revisit how you said that from one skill, from your major career, you can actually have multiple streams of
Yeah.
income. And another thing about multiple streams of income nowadays, today I still had a conversation with someone as regards it. I just wanted to mention it in passing. And I was asking me about working for two different companies. I mean, the same skill, but you're working in two different places. I know people that do, especially if you have a tech related skill, you can work in different places, and because you work remotely, you don't have to tell somebody. And nowadays there's this rule in place of work where they will say you can't work with a competing someone who is doing the same product and stuff like that. So even in all of that, part of multiple streams of income is working for two different companies at once. And also that was working for two different startups. It was hybrid job. Oh, it's not even remote. Hybrid that you have to go on some days of the week. Yet it was really, he almost died, child. It was it was so busy, it was so draining. But I mean, that's some sort of multiple stream of income too. So there are different ways. It's just a mindset thing. You just need to say, oh, I need to figure this out, and you need to start somewhere. That's why I'm grateful that Promise simplified it. And I really hope I would, after this whole thing, I'll still reach out to him for the slides, and I'm going to share it with everybody so we can go through it again, and to serve as our roadmap in doing in all the stuff that we do career wise. Thank you very much, Promise. Thank you for everybody that stayed till this point. And thank you to those that will come across this YouTube channel and watch this live version. Watch replay the live version. So on this note, we will wrap it up and call it a night. Good night, everybody. Thank you.